So last session, it's been a couple weeks, but we started off right into the big battle, right? You guys ended the session prior to that, walking into that big temple area. And most of the last time's session was fighting the big giant spider and all these other spiders and the drow priestess and all these things.
That
and
spider demon was
essentially at the end, when all the dust settled, the hobgoblins managed to root out the drow, along with your help, of course, and what was left of the cheeky pluckers were joined by, which was Halberd and Fiona, essentially.
Yeah.
Were joined
that
by,
party had a bad time on it.
They were joined by Joroth and Grell, and they were taking Sariel's body back up to the surface in order to return her to her people to be buried, essentially. And so Grell and Halberd both went north on this level while you guys went south to the river. But yeah, Halberd did walk away with that sword attached to his hand.
Should have offered. I think Melannor could have cast Greater Restoration on it to, or Dispel Curse or something. I think he had something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh well, too late now.
Yep.
But while saving it, because in the boat I have all my extra weapons just sitting there, like a +1 glaive, a +1 greatsword.
Yep. Defeating the drow, you took the symbol of Lolth from the drow priestess, like Hallister asked you to. You came back here to the river and tossed it in, and eventually the Mad Mage himself came by and congratulated you, gave you a little Quall's feather token as a reward, and you took a long rest with your magical tent, and now you're free to do as you please. Now, I do want to say that as you guys wake up from that long rest, Melannor seemingly is unable to shake a bit of exhaustion. He is currently suffering from one level of exhaustion that, just from his being down in the depths, he is a very much a nature type druid.
Don't worry, we'll
and he's been down here for a long time, and it's starting to wear on him. So he currently has one level of exhaustion.
Yeah, I would like to get to level 5 soon to get this thrown out of my bag of holding so I can use it again.
Cool.
So yeah, you have your raft here bobbing or beached here in front of you. The river Sargoth is here in front of you. It's flowing south.
Okay.
The water flows to the south this direction. You do have the pathways that you already know where they go, branching out from this area that you're in. What would you like to do?
Like, I know we still have the skull thing in Skullport, but at this point, I have no idea how we're going to get those crazy skulls into the spot we need. Because they had to go underwater and stuff, so I think we might need to come back to that later.
When we have, like, a bag of water.
I mean, I can swim underwater and breathe down there.
Yeah, the problem is the skulls, getting them under.
I think those skulls are...
They have to get in there?
Yeah, they have to, like, get to that cavern that was only accessible by the underwater passage. Or something or other.
Yeah, if you don't remember, there was that Kuatoa, that fish-like creature who guided Wendune with the cloak of the manta ray equipped that let him breathe underwater into this long underwater tunnel.
We had gems in it.
It opened up, and in the walls there were different gemstones embedded that he was unable to get any out of at the time. But that is leading to this underwater grotto where these skulls were originally created hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, so basically we had to lure them down there to this grotto and then pour this potion on the Flame Skull scalp and recite the words. But I don't know how we're going to get them down to that grotto.
You put them in a bag of holding.
Well, a bag of holding's full right now.
The bag of holding is full to the brim. With a
that's right. It's got a big, it's got a throne in it.
Throne in
It's got the throne of the Coronal, something like that.
Yep.
Do we
Coronal. Which I wouldn't mind taking that throne down to level 5 and talking to what's her name?
Willow.
And seeing, Willow. And seeing, like, maybe she can give us something for it. I don't know.
Trading it for some coin.
Yeah, trading it maybe. And getting Melannor patched up. Maybe he wants to, like, hang out. So I think level 5 should be our next thing.
Yeah.
I think once we go down to level 5, we should continue until we can find the Azraq's dagger, since we know they went past there. Because we'd have to come back up to give Azraq his dagger anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be a lot of back forth. So I think our best bet would be doing like 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Draken, you have a gem, a magic gem that you're willing to sacrifice to get us to level 5?
Yeah.
Would you be breaking it, or would the portal be breaking it?
Well, it doesn't really matter.
Says when you use an action to break the gem, an elemental is summoned, as if you had cast the conjure elemental spell, and the gem's magic is lost.
But if you're not the one breaking it, it's the door that breaks it. Wouldn't it command, like, would the door be the one controlling it?
Who knows?
Well, the last 2 times we went through this portal, there was that figure. Let's think about that for a second.
It turns into a big fiery red figure.
I'm thinking if we can ready like a grappling hook, lasso thing, something, and as soon as it shows up, try to lasso and pull whoever that is out.
So you're going to head downriver toward the easier access to the portal room, the gate room?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. While we're headed down there, I am going to use 3 crossbow bolts and the right tools for the job and some rope to create a grappling hook that can grab.
Roll a d20, add your proficiency bonus, and we'll add your dexterity.
Wait, why are you making a grappling hook? I have a grappling hook.
Oh, never mind then.
Okay then.
I thought you said rig one up.
I'm saying we could rig up the grappling hook to be able, like a lasso thing. You know, I have a grappling hook.
I did not know that. Okay, well, that would have been a 17. So.
So now we have
If
2
you
grappling
want to make
hooks.
yourself one, with that roll, you've made a decent one. It'll withstand any kind of use, any kind of standard use. So if you want to add one to your inventory, you certainly can.
Okay, I did.
So make sure you remove the crossbow bolts and so on, and keep that straight. All right. So as you push off from the river, the flow of the river starts to bring you down, heading south. So it's a very easy journey since you're going with the river's flow. So as you continue down, you'll notice that there are lots of rock formations, stalactites up above, columns of rock and water rushing across them. Eventually you do come back and you are back to that area where you originally met Grell.
Oh, let's move past that area.
Yep.
Medusa's there.
These kind of teeth-like formations. There is this up above, a good 12 feet above you, there is that platform of stone that you know leads to where that large stone creature was and where you found the body of Four Fingers, the gnome, up above you.
Yeah. He's not a snail anymore.
No, he's not a snail anymore.
But he's irritated though.
I think we heard him. I think on our way out we heard him pounding on the door.
Yeah.
Those are the ghost pirate.
Yeah, this is where you encountered these pirate ghosts. And you do still see them on the beach, combing through the sand, looking for treasure.
I want to go up there and get treasure, but I don't know how to fight ghosts.
You just use magical weapons. Should be able to hurt them.
Yeah, as you are floating by, they do notice you, since you're not being stealthy or anything. and you can hear them call out, "Treasure! Treasure!"
I throw a gold piece to them.
You throw a gold piece at them?
Yeah.
Oh man. They go scrambling for it. Like beggars in Skullport. They'll start fighting for it.
Unnatural thirst for gold.
Yeah. And as you float on by, you can hear them fighting like, "No, it's mine! 'Tis mine! No, 'tis mine!"
First
It's like
time
that ride at Disney, the Pirates of the Caribbean.
they'll be fighting over treasure for the rest of eternity, not looking for it.
Eventually, you do make your way back to this area where you encounter those drow who are shooting at you from above these platforms. And you
Which
do remember
is also the entrance.
this is where you wanted to be.
Oh yeah, we got tied about down.
Yep, so as you sidle up here to the side, this platform is a good 8 feet above you.
Is that other drop person still over there? Didn't we like lock somebody up on the other side?
You did tie someone up to this cave down here a while back.
You want to go see
Been a
if
few days.
they're still there?
Nobody's coming to rescue her. Just so everybody knows.
Nah, let's leave her. We already looted her.
All right, so actually this ledge above you right now is 6 feet above you. The one to the south is 8 feet above you, so a little bit of a
We
difference
can
in
probably
elevation.
jump up it.
So this is a 6-foot climb if you were to anchor your boat here and climb up.
I'm just gonna levitate. I'm not very good at climbing. I always
You're going
fall.
to use levitation.
I always fall no matter what. So yes,
Make sure you use your charges for your staff.
I do.
So Draken casts levitate on himself using the power of his staff, and he begins to rise up into the air. And make your
All right.
to this point, kind of begin floating above this area.
I can.
With Melannor being exhausted and having disadvantage on ability checks, I will cast guidance on him to give him a D4 extra he can add to his next ability check. So
yeah,
what are we rolling? Acrobatics
this
or
would be
athletics?
This would be athletics. Athletics checks to climb up.
That's a 22 for me.
6.
All right, so that's going to be an 8 plus 3, so 11 for Melannor.
So Melannor and George both managed to climb up pretty easily. Wendune has a bit of issues, and he's climbing up and he slides back down to the boat. And then eventually, though, he does make it up, though. It just takes a bit more longer. Now, what about Boulder, though?
Boulder can run and get up there. Hold on. For him, I'm gonna have to roll a nat 1.
He's climbing up there with Wendune, and as Wendune slides down, Boulder slides down also. Grabs onto Wendune grabs on the boulder and pulls them both down off the cliff and back onto the boat. The boat rocking and the weight.
Don't.
I reached down there to help them up.
I'll go down. I can levitate.
All right, well, both of your helps.
I bring the dog.
Everybody gets up onto the ledge.
Whole session we're sticking on the
Short.
ledge because the dwarf and his dog can't get over the ledge.
That'd be ridiculous.
I was born with the shorts. That's okay.
Now the boat.
Actually,
Are we?
I have an item that might be interesting.
I'll
What's that?
tie the boat to a rock.
You tying the boat up?
I want to tell Wendune I have this item. It's a circlet of human perfection. You wear it, you'll become human.
Would that get rid of all of my, dwarven abilities?
Except for size, your statistics and racial traits do not change.
Yeah. So essentially, it just changes your appearance and your height.
Yeah, it changes your size. So you would be a tall dwarf, but it does require attunement.
No, I'm good. I don't need any more. I don't need any more attunements.
You make your way down this cavern relatively uneventfully. You see some rats and things scurrying around, gnawing at these dead corpses that have been here for a while now. But otherwise, nothing to worry about. You do see the gate, and the gate still has the same features as you saw before, with the dragon carved head extending out with his mouth open.
I put the fire gem in it.
Okay.
Why don't we leave the giant magical construct here?
Whoa, don't put it. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
I didn't put it in.
We gotta get ready. We gotta get ready for A, possibly fighting this fire elemental, and B, trying to get this shadowy figure that forms.
Okay.
So don't just sling your gems around. Alright.
Okay, what would you like to do to prepare?
Let's see. So my concern with the grappling hook is that it's like not magical. I don't know how that's going to handle that. I wonder if we just need to like reach in and just grab them and pull. But reaching in sounds like a bad idea too. Sounds like a good way to lose your arm.
Anybody got mage hand?
I would like. Okay, how about, well, let's ready into action to throw this grappling hook at this figure. Can I ready an action and a bonus action?
Not usually. You're kind of like spending your reaction to ready an action. That's what that typically means. But you know,
because I was.
What are you trying to do?
Huh?
What's the plan here?
My plan is to try to throw the rope out there and grapple the guy and pull him back. My secondary plan was to try to Misty Step to him inside the portal and back out.
We also have to go in the portal. Just so you know.
Yeah, that'd be dangerous. I'd rather be able to just grab him with the rope and pull him out.
I can also use Mage Hand to try to...
So how about this? How about, George, you're the one kind of coming up with this plan. Why don't you do an Arcana check for me?
Oh, good lord. All right, let's go a straight roll then.
I'm going to help you.
Oh, 5.
You have advantage.
Okay, Draken's helping. So
I have advantage?
Yep.
Okay. 3.
Yeah.
So you have no idea if this is even possible, what you're thinking of doing.
I don't. Well, you know, me and George has something in common because I have no idea if this is possible.
And this is a magical gate built, you assume, built by Halaster Blackcloak himself, the Mad Mage of Undermountain, who is however many centuries years old at this point, with untold magical power.
If it's nothing, he's
in a
probably
great big
laughing.
living space. And you don't know how the stuff works, or what you're thinking might work, or what it is. And this figure that you've seen a couple times now in this portal, this staticky image that you see within the swirls of energy that the portal's made of, you have no idea if this is a physical thing you can grapple or touch, or what.
Nope, I have no idea.
I bet
You are right on all accounts.
if it is nothing, I bet he's just laughing watching us try to figure out how to grapple us.
If he's not laughing already watching us, then he has been paying attention.
Let's cover all our bases then. Somebody does the grappling hook, somebody does the Bigby's hand, and somebody does the
I'm not doing
what?
So, Draken's going to ready whichever hand.
Mhm.
I'll do the grappling hook. Melannor is going to ready Thorn Whip. So that's 3 different things we're going to try to possibly get this thing.
So
Whatever it is. I guess that would leave you, Wendune, to put the gem in, since the rest of us are readying our
Here you
things.
go.
Boulder sits down on his haunches and starts scratching himself with his hind leg.
How does a robot dog even have an itch?
The 4 of you surround this gate.
is AI.
Why would you program that?
Draken pulls out the gem.
Puts it in.
You can't put it in. I have to put it in.
If you put it in, you're not casting Mage Hand.
But Mage Hand's the bonus action. Are we able to do a bonus action in an
All right,
action?
Draken puts it in.
Uh-huh.
The dragon head snaps closed, breaking the magical gem into shards that go scattering around. And once again, with a snap and a hiss, this familiar opening of the portal appears before you. You look into the mass of swirling forms, and once again you see the shapes begin to coalesce into this robed form. Much quicker this time than the last time. It seems to animate. It's like it's moving limbs as if to reach out to you. Melannor is going to cast.
Thorn Whip, but I'm going to try to grapple him. So that should be 2 ropes
Go for
pulling this thing.
it. So Thorn Whip,
Okay.
roll attack, spell attack for Melannor.
Yes.
rope of plant life extends from the ground in front of the portal and whips into the energy swirl. It just cuts off right at where the energy swirl begins. And now you throw your grappling hook. So do a...
Yes.
We'll do that. We'll make this a strength check plus your proficiency.
All right. That's going to be 17.
As you chuck your grappling hook, it goes through the portal, and it seems to pass through the portal as if traveling through the portal. It doesn't actually seem to interact with the form. And then before anything else can happen, the faceless figure kind of succumbs to the chaotic energy that surrounds them.
Okay, let's run into the portal before it closes. I jump into the portal.
Well, this is its forming open. It's not fully formed yet, right?
It's open now. It's open.
I jump in.
It is open now.
Yeah.
All right. We'll try this again another time. Is my grappling hook okay? Or do I need to have Wendune whip up a new one?
Is it?
Well, let me open up this other map. So, Draken, you go through the portal. All of you do, but Draken especially. You see this glyph form in front of you. Ooh. It looks like almost like a pirate's flag without the skull and crossbones, just like a flag symbol. And this little symbol kind of like a swirl in front of your eyes. And you feel this effect over you, this warm effect. And for 24 hours, you are immune to being blinded, charmed,
nice.
Deafened,
nice.
Frightened,
nice.
Paralyzed,
nice.
Petrified,
nice.
Poisoned,
nice.
or stunned.
Nice. Not centigrade?
And if you
so he's immune to any status ailment.
And if you do drop to 0 hit points, you will immediately stabilize.
Nice.
But you don't have to roll death save.
I basically...
Let's practice on swing out.
For 24 hours. 24 hours.
I have immunity today.
24 hours, you can't die.
Nice.
The first time, I will say. The first time.
Yeah.
Still, I can just run into a big fire explosion if I want to.
All right, so you managed to find yourself here in this portal room of Willow's Tower. You were here before.
I want to step out of the room and call out to Lady Willow and Halistry that we are here, announcing our presence.
Meanwhile, to kind of recap you what this space is like, it's obviously fully made of wood. You can feel the creaking sound of the wind blowing outside. You feel like the whole tower kind of blows gently in the breeze. Like it's not exactly cemented into the ground.
It's kind of tree shaped. I think it might be a tree house.
So as you all exit this room and call out, you hear from below, "Ooh!" And the scraping noise as this giant tree creature begins to pull itself through this spiral staircase to greet you. So again, Halistry, kind of his large frame coming up this staircase, all his branches just scraping against the walls and everything.
Hola.
And he goes, "Oh, you've returned."
Couldn't find the other portal like she said.
Well, it was a matter of utmost urgency, we felt. Our Druid friend has started to feel very ill.
Oh, I see. And Melannor be here. And Melanor's looking, and Melannor will kind of protest. He's like, "I feel fine, really. It's just been a long time underground is all." Halistry goes, "Oh, very well. Let me bring you to the mistress." And so you all begin to go down. So Halistry, just like before, just for the sake of brevity, announces your presence first and then waves you in. And you all come in and you find yourself within the throne room of Willow. And she once again greets you. You can see that she's not exactly smiling this time. She did warn you prior that she would prefer if you announced yourself ahead of time. As far as
how?
Letting her know that you're coming.
Yes, but our friend Drew has started to feel ill, and I didn't know how quickly his condition would decline. Wanted to get him somewhere where he could recharge his nature batteries.
Willow kind of looks past you at Melannor. You kind of step aside, and Melannor will, approach and kind of give a nod, kind of a bow. And she, her eyes kind of flash for a moment as she looks at him and holds her hand out toward him. And then she says, "Oh yes, it's very common for us druids to get a bit fatigued down beneath the earth for so long. You would do well to stay here with me for a short period of time while you bask in the glory that is my wood. It'll do you well, it'll do all of you well to see the light of the sun once again."
Yes, indeed.
Where did you get your own sun?
A gift from the mage for my own sanity. She tells you how when she originally came down here many, many, many years ago, she also felt claustrophobic and just run down from the lack of nature. And so the Mad Mage, wanting her to be comfortable, created for her this domain that she could use as her own. She says, if you would like, you may have permission to explore my domain. Just be careful. The denizens of the Willow Wood do not take kindly to any strangers. No harm must befall my forest. No logging, no fire starting, no killing of an animal, or similar acts of destruction will be tolerated.
So would the denizens of your forest not attack unless provoked? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. That is what I say.
Alrighty. I think we should be able to manage that, and I give a very thoughtful eye over to Draken.
Okay.
She does say, and she looks at you, the five of you again, she goes, perhaps you could help me with something.
Name it.
I have a mysterious ailment poisoning the river that flows through my domain. This river provides water to all the creatures under my protection, and lately it seems to have been infested with some sort of poisonous sludge and slime flowing from the level above.
Not very.
Perhaps you could determine where this poison originates from and put a halt to it.
We'll gladly check that out. Have you had any more sightings of the band of dwarves that passed through here about too long ago?
Not since you last arrived. She kind of reaches out and scratches the neck of the displacer beast sitting next to her, and it kind of gives a growlish purr as she scratches it. And she says, so far we've seen no sign of these dwarves since they passed through. I'm sure they're all dead at this point.
Do you mind if I do speak to you about a different matter?
You may.
Have you ever heard of the throne of the Coronal?
She kind of rises up her neck a bit and kind of looks at Halistry, and Halistry kind of gives the equivalent of a tree shrug. Oh, yeah. And the branches kind of rise up a bit and go back down, and she goes, I have heard of such an item before. Many adventurers have come through my domain searching for it. I've offered them reward in the past, but none have ever come through.
Nice.
Can you tell me more about this item?
The throne itself?
Yes. We haven't heard very much about it, just in passing. That there was another band of adventurers that were looking for it, but they didn't make it far.
That does seem to be a common thing to happen to adventurers here. She says, the throne of the Coronal. And she begins to regale you the story of how it dates back to the fall of Illitharn, an elven kingdom far to the north. It is an alabaster throne belonging to Siglaeth Audark, the last Coronal of Illitharn, which disappeared from the capital city of Elen Thaladar.
Oh, wow.
Long ago, it's said that a group of dwarves took it to protect it during the fall of what has become Waterdeep, and hide it within the mountain for protection. But ever since, the Malarkin dwarves also have fallen through the hundreds of years since, and the location of this alabaster throne has been lost to time.
So what does this throne mean for the elven kind?
It's a symbol of past power, especially those elves who still reside on the surface. It would be quite a boon to have it back in the domain of the elves. They would rejoice at its return.
How much would you like it?
Myself.
Yes, what reward were you offering?
Well, the reward I've offered other adventuring parties in the many decades that have of people passing through. I would give them a choice from my armory, a choice of their choosing, or if none of those items met their fancy, the equivalent in gems and gold.
I don't know. I mean, this sounds like a pretty big deal just for one item or gems or gold.
She says, well, I would, of course, prefer it be returned to the elven kingdom above. More than likely, she kind of thinks for a moment, the elven kingdom of Draenor would be where I would choose to have it sent. That would be where it would be placed in the most viewable place of honor amongst the surface elves. If it were given to me, I would attempt to make that journey either myself or with allies to return it to Draenor.
I'll turn to look at the others. So let's say, is this an item of choice per member of the party?
She kind of looks at you and do a persuasion check.
I think she's starting to know that you have it.
We'll say a persuasion.
Or have an idea where it is.
Persuasion with advantage.
She's starting to
I mean,
know.
obviously, I'm not carrying around a 500-pound throne, am I? 15 both times.
She looks at you and says, perhaps 2 items could be arranged.
All right, I'll look at the others.
And the
Please give me a moment to confer with my allies.
She says 2 items and the equivalent of golden gems for 2 others.
That sweetens the pot a lot.
So I get.
Yeah. So, what do you think, guys? Should we take up this quest to find this throne?
Yeah, sure. We could take the quest to find.
That's
Newly
that's
find this
significant.
throne.
If you will help me, Wendune, now I will take my bag of holding and place it on the ground. My tiny little bag of holding. That needs to be
She
bigger.
kind of looks at you as if you're about to perform some kind of magic trick. And she looks down her nose at your very gaudy-looking griffin's saddlebag.
Alright, I cast reduce on the throne inside.
Enlarge.
Enlarge.
Just the enlarge on the bag, so we can pull the throne out of the hole.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, we'll cast enlarge in the bag.
The
I don't think it casts a spell with something inside it.
The bag grows like a Santa Claus sack. And she kind of
reach in and
she gives a little chuckle at this.
and we'll reach in and pull out the throne.
All right.
With the coronal.
George reaches in and pulls out
Ta-da!
an alabaster throne. And if you thought that Willow might have been very composed and serene, she practically drops her staff in amazement.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
And
For our next trick.
And she kind of steps forward and gazes upon the throne and like puts her hand on it and kind of runs her hand along it and goes, I can't believe it. Have you had it this whole time?
We didn't have it when we came the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But I was on level 3.
Like right
But
after.
I will regale her with the story of our exploits and how we found this thing hidden inside of a rock.
Yeah, you found like a paper mache looking piece of stone that's disguised as
guarded by a...
And nobody's ever noticed it.
And
Nobody.
well, it was guarded by that big rock elemental thing.
Right.
That wasn't
With a
wrong,
gaping
though,
maw in the middle of its face.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 legs.
She says, well, not quite like I expected, but a deal is a deal. All right, within this room, actually, I think the first time I had you come through, I actually went the opposite direction you should have. It's actually this room up here to the northwest that has the table there with the magic items on it.
Oh, wow.
So
We found
we'll
those.
just assume that happened that way. So anyway, she leads you to this table, and because my computer's running a little slow, I'm not going to worry about moving everybody over there, but essentially there are 4 items arrayed on this table.
We can take 2.
There is a hide armor of lightning resistance, a silvered scimitar,
What's that do?
a leather quiver containing 20 silvered arrows, and a silvered quarterstaff.
Well, I could definitely use that quiver of arrows there. But if anybody else sees something that they might want instead.
We can take 2 things.
Yeah, so the leather quiver containing 20 silvered arrows. So the arrows themselves are silvered, which makes them particularly powerful against undead and lycanthropes. As you're looking at all these silvered items, she does comment that currently in her domain, she is trying to fight back against a horde of were-rats and were-bats that have trying to mess up the ecosystem that she's so trying to maintain here.
So that's why you have all the...
Yeah, the silvered items are mainly geared toward combat of these kinds of were creatures. But she says you're welcome to 2 of these, or the equivalent in gold or gems.
What types of gems do you have?
What do you want?
What's the armor class of that lightning resistant hide armor?
It's light armor because it's hide, and AC is 12 plus your dex modifier. Because she is a druid, this is something that you can imagine she would wear herself if she were to go into combat.
Do you have elemental gem?
Sorry, no elemental gems. I do have an assortment of gems, though. Non-magical gems.
Always.
Not magical, okay.
So,
I don't
Wendune,
know.
are you taking the 20 silvered arrows?
Yes. If nobody else objects.
I don't object to that. So we'll say so Wendune takes the 20 silver arrows, I'll take the silver scimitar. We have something to fight against these wares with. And then the jewels, what kind of jewels are there? For instance, since you're saying what kind you're looking for.
Essentially, at this point, you can make a request of a gem, and you can probably get it.
I know, but I want to know all the different types.
I could use gems for my shield, but I want to take the scimitar and the gem.
Well, we get
What's
2.
the gems? I don't know what types
Yeah.
there are. What's the type of gem on her throne? All around her
Her gem is surrounded by crystals.
I would like to get
fancy
out of here
sapphire.
with an onyx, would be nice.
Onyx.
I want a big fancy
She kind
sapphire.
of whips her hand up, and all of a sudden, she has an onyx in her hand, and she
Oh.
gives it over to George gladly.
I'll just take a big sapphire.
She reaches out with her other hand toward Draken and hands him of the blue sapphire.
Pretty.
Okay, at this point, has everything been handed out that should be?
Alright, so what do we get? We got arrows, we got 2 gems. Did anybody get another?
There could be another gem or gold equivalent,
Ooh, nice.
or one of the items.
Oh, what's the item? I wouldn't mind having a sapphire.
All right, she hands you another blue sapphire. And
Ooh,
so, George, you have a blue sapphire now as well.
Awesome. Slowly building back up my collection of gems for my shield.
So the sapphire gives you lightning resistance, the onyx acid resistance.
I knew it had something to do with lightning. That's why I picked it. I like.
Halistry
You wish.
kind of lumbers up to the throne and
I already took you out once.
very gingerly places his branches underneath the base. They kind of grow out and kind of envelop the throne, and he lifts it up, and he begins to take it into a storeroom. And she goes, "I will be," and Willow takes her seat back on the throne that she sits on, and she smiles broadly at all of you. Goes, "Surely there must be a name for a group such as this who brought me back such a wonderful, epic, hidden mystery of an item. What shall I call your group?"
Oh,
You have a name?
I didn't know you had it.
Yeah, we're
Who has a name?
Well, you've met the cheeky pluckers. You've met the fine fellows of Daggerford.
Trollskull Tavern Party.
we are the Guild of Trollskull.
Awesome.
She kind of gives you a look. He goes,
That's the name of our tavern. You made us think of
She kind of-
something.
puts her hand up and goes, "Very well, Guild of Trollskull. You are welcome here in the domain of Wyllowwood. Please," and she kind of reaches toward the door to the south of you, which opens up to show you a forest beyond this opening. She goes, "Please, not to ask more of you, but if you wish in your exploration to determine the cause of the strange poison running down river, I would be most grateful."
We can also help against the werewolves and stuff.
Before we leave, I was wondering if you would like to trade this very
Traded so much.
beautiful.
What would you want to trade?
Well, I'm wondering if you would like to trade this beautiful dress of defense
Oh my goodness.
for possibly a ruby or opal. It's very nice. It's decorative. There's several armor plates adorning it that has lush and sheer fabric.
It has
Goodness.
threads.
Yes. And you can speak its command word to cause its armored plates to emit a protective magical force, which gives you a +3 to your AC.
She's listening to you rattle on, and you can see her smile start to diminish a little bit. And why don't you do a
So, no.
persuasion with disadvantage?
Aw. Even after we gave her that throne and everything?
Well, she's giving you a lot in return.
Alright. With disadvantage is a 15.
She looks at it, and as you kind of like present it to her like a store clerk, showing a dress to Cinderella here, like, "What do you think?" She goes, "Very well."
And it's green. Yay.
So she'll take the dress of defense off your hands and give you in return an opal. Melannor begins to, seeing the forest and the sunlight outside, of beams of light coming through the doorway, he immediately begins to walk out. Go check it out.
Try.
I'm going to follow him so that I can make my sapphire shimmer in daylight.
You're following?
We'll head on out.
Everybody heads up.
We'll let you know when we find something.
You guys step out, the doors open to you, and find yourselves standing in a forest. It is quite lovely. You do see some wildlife kind of scatter as you enter the area. This moose here, this elk kind of clambers away.
I wish I had a... Oh, there's a bow and arrow down there.
You see...
If you attack anybody, you're on your own.
I know, I'm saying for if there's any arrows for Wendune.
I have enough.
But yeah, as you are walking through, while it is sunlight breaking through the canopy of the forest, it's still quite dark just because of the shadows being cast by the canopy. All these tree trunks pictured here are actual full trees extending quite high up into the air.
Okay.
I guess she got rid of a lot of hunters. Look at all this
Good.
stuff.
You do see quite a number of old rusty weapons kind of strewn about. Empty bottles and other kind of useless adventuring gear. Everybody, if you could do a perception check for me.
I think people litter.
Yeah, it's very messy. I'll clean it up.
13.
18. 18.
19 for me. Melannor got 12.
All right. As you are kind of walking slowly away from Willow's tower here, you notice hanging from the trees, from the low branches, are all these eerie-looking kind of totems or rag dolls.
Oh, I thought those
They're kind
were
of
funny.
created with twigs and feathers and tattered cloth. They look like all these crude dolls hanging from the tree branches up above you. In a very kind of Joey wouldn't know this, but kind of like a
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch kind of way.
That's what I was picturing in my head.
You have all these kind of hanging totems and Koopy dolls and voodoo doll looking things hanging from the wall, the trees branches above.
Kind
You
of like
also-
Are they totems of protection or warning?
death.
They are the souls of the dead. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just making something up.
You have no idea. You also see to the north is this stone wall. This is Willow's tower here. And this stone wall kind of extends to the north. You see several places in between these parapets where the wall's kind of broken, and you can definitely walk through there if you so wanted to. As you're walking along, you hear this loud screeching sound from above the canopy, and this shadow goes flying by.
Oh, it's
And
one of her things.
you recognize the shape as being very much a dragon-like shape as it flies past you
How big is it?
to the east.
How big is it? How big
It's
is it?
big.
Yay!
A large dragon
Awesome!
has just flown overhead, heading to the east. It is daylight outside. You do see
Oh, that's
you know,
your shield.
many animals, elk, kind of strolling about. With those perception rolls earlier, I will say you do hear the sound of a flowing river to the east.
Let's go look at this bubbling poison river.
Yeah. I'd say let's just follow the river up to the mouth.
As you head to the east, toward the sound of the river, these walls come up. And as you're walking through, you see many creatures. You see elk. You see bears,
Oh, we do?
giant wasps, and so far they all tend to
Where?
pay you no mind. You make your way to the east until you run across this
Hole.
large mountainous boulder blocking your way this direction, and these walls here to the north.
We can walk through the wall.
So where are we hearing the water then?
The water can be heard to the east past these walls.
Hmm.
You do
Surprised the walls aren't affecting the directional.
You do see some broken areas that animals can pass through.
To the river.
To the river.
There it is. Alright, let's go check out the water then.
Okay.
See what kind of poison we're dealing with.
And you eventually kind of make your way through this crack in the wall. You see several deer drinking from the river.
No.
Oh, no.
All kind of run and scatter
Good.
in your approach.
I don't want them to be drinking.
So, this large antlered alpha deer kind of stomps at your presence. Kind of
I want to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay. You cast Speak with Animals.
You have them?
Yes,
And
I did.
Does that make you understand the animals talking, or can you just speak so they can talk and understand you?
I gained the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration.
Okay. So as you cast, sorry, as you cast this, you can hear this guy going, "Stay back, stay back, stay back."
It's like, calm, friend, we mean you no harm in deer speak.
And he goes, "Oh, you speak like the mistress does." He goes,
Oh, I don't have near her eloquence.
"No,
I wanted to communicate with you to
nor
warn
do
you
you
that
have
this
her
water.
beauty." As he kind of,
I do not. Although I do consider my green skin to be very nature-like.
yes,
it's the same
much
color as the
like the
grass.
dragon's green hue.
Ooh, green? Oh.
Yeah, I'm a half-orc. Also, there's a green dragon. But I wanted to talk to you and tell you that this river is poisoned, and we're on our way to see about the source of this toxic infestation.
Sludge.
It did have a strange taste.
Hope you don't get
Yes.
sick.
And many deer kind and bear kind have fallen ill.
Yeah, so if you can go and tell all your animal friends to stay away from the river until we can get it clean and purified.
Okay, I will try. I appreciate that.
I'm surprised the mistress hasn't told you already.
She warned
She's the one who
us.
sent us to. She did?
She warned us to not drink the sludge and slime. And he kind of looks to the river, and you can see now that the river itself looks pretty clean. It just has these patches of kind of algae-like substances floating in it. So, although not pictured here, just imagine, if you will. The river.
Yeah. Almost like an oil spill.
Well, it's kind of like algae, like it's on the surface, kind of floating, but like an oil spill, yeah. So he was essentially not drinking that stuff, but still drinking from the river at large.
I understand the need for a water source, of course, but just wanted to let y'all, in case you didn't know already, to be careful.
I'll pass the word along. All these female deer are all like looking from the distance.
When did the algae start appearing?
When? He kind of looks at
I
the
mean-
algae, and we don't. I'm kind of thinking what he would call time passing, because they don't really have.
How many moons and suns?
He looks at you curiously. Moon?
Wait, it never gets dark here?
The sun always
The
rises.
How many times have you gone to sleep?
how many sleeps?
How many sleeps? That's very well.
Not including naps.
Perhaps 5 or 6 sleeps.
Okay.
So does the light ever turn dark?
Only when necessary. But no moon. This moon, I don't know what that means.
Well, I would think it would have to turn dark. But you have the sun, right?
Oh yes, and you look up right now,
The
you can
glowing
see
orb.
now that you're here at the river's edge, the canopy of trees kind of breaks above the river, and you do see what looks to be a blue white cloud-filled sky above you with a bright yellow sun.
Probably just glow.
And Melannor is quite enjoying having this sun-like presence.
Yeah, I would think there would need to be some kind of day-night cycle just for the nocturnal animals.
Yeah, you're getting the sense
Not to mention
that
sleep cycles.
the day-night cycle here does not appear to be the same kind of cycle that you're accustomed to.
Okay. How far north does the river go?
From here, it's far.
How many days walk do you think?
Oh, maybe one good day.
Oh, okay. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Almost a day is like 7 days.
That's true.
As you look
But
at
I mean,
the
I would
river,
think even
the river does flow to the south, just like the river you were on before. And you're not sure if this is the same river, because you did skip a level, but it does seem to flow southward.
Alright. I would imagine it would still be a single day, otherwise you would have had to sleep on his way up. Do y'all have anything you want to ask a deer?
Ask a deer.
Dear Abby.
I can.
Deer.
Yeah.
Is there a mine here that she gets all of her fancy gems from?
A mine.
He goes, mine?
Like where you
Is there a cave, an opening in the rock?
that has
Many openings in the stone, yes. We don't go in.
Any that have shining stones?
We don't know. We don't enter the stone openings.
Gotta find a bear.
Are there any that the mistress goes into from time to time?
The mistress, she takes care of us. I've never seen her go down into the deep.
Well, we won't take any more of your time. Just warn your friends and we will go see if we can't clean this water up.
Very well. And he runs off, joins the females who all run with him.
Lucky man.
Wondering if this river is, if it has a delta, or if it's like the lazy river at the water parks, just keep going around.
I want to get a sample of this algae though.
Okay.
kind of scoop my hands and drink some.
Yeah, as you're looking at the river,
I can't be poisoned today.
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, it's you do see that the river does have another side to it. This is all rocky cliffs over here, kind of a mountain pass. The river does continue north, and you can see quite a ways because the sunlight gives you a distance to see.
A good view.
It does also continue to the south as well. In any case, as far as the algae, there's enough of it that you are able to grab a sample pretty easily from the shore. Because it's more covered in algae now than it's not, to put it that way. It's pretty dense.
I drink some of the
you
water.
scoop up some of this, and this is this slimy, viscous looking green goop. It's not algae. It's definitely kind of a mucusy consistency. You drink it?
I drink some of the water.
Do a Constitution saving
I can't
throw.
be poisoned.
Constitution saving throw.
Okay, I do. That's the reason to do it. I can't be poisoned today, though. So 23.
Okay. Yeah, you cannot be poisoned, so it didn't do anything.
Um,
But it tastes awful.
Um,
It tastes like it looks.
how do I like this water? I was actually doing to see how bad it was for the animals. See how.
It's like you just took a spoonful of petroleum jelly.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay. Yeah. Ew. Poison.
I want to cast Detect Magic to see if it's magical in nature.
Okay. Detect magic. What's the radius on that? By the way.
Oh, it's like 30 feet.
Yeah, you don't really see any magical aura.
I asked Melannor to let's try a couple of things on this algae, and I'll put it down on a rock or something.
I gave you one back.
Okay.
And I have him try like casting like frostbite or like sacred flame to see how it reacts to like fire and ice and stuff like that. Make sure it's something that doesn't like make it expand faster or something.
Yeah, it does get affected by it like anything else would. Sacred flame, you see it kind of shrivel and kind of dry out, and frostbite, it does kind of freeze and crackle as you smash it, that kind of thing.
So it's nothing that's like, is that more vulnerable to one versus the other, anything like that?
No, nothing like that. But it does.
Like it's not like flammable.
No, it's not flammable, but it does kind of shrivel like a slug.
Mm.
Just cast fireball through the
Or
river.
you could just like set it on fire or something. Yeah.
But this poison does seem to flow down from the north.
Then we should check out the north.
Yes. All right, let's head to the north then.
You do see what looks like a structure down here to the south as well.
One thing at a time.
We're coming back.
Okay. So you're gonna just follow the river north?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
My speak of animals lasts for 10 minutes, so I can like hear what the birds are saying and stuff. That's fine.
Okay.
If I hear anything of interest.
Do a perception check then.
Dirty 20.
Okay. You hear the twittering of birds up ahead, up above, and squirrels, chipmunks, those sorts of creatures. And while they're far up above you, you do catch a few words here and there, and you hear essentially amongst the birds and the things up in the canopies, Tarlai's back. Tarlai's back.
Who's Tarlai? Oh, he's the green dragon.
Yeah. If there's a spore or someone close by, I can ask, who's Tarlai?
Okay, we're running at the end of your spell here. After this, you'll have no more after this.
Okay.
A little squirrel on the side of this tree here looks at you in surprise at first. He goes, "You can speak to me," and then just says, "Tarlai, the dragon."
Green dragon?
Oh, the green dragon?
Yes, the green dragon. And he skitters up the trunk away from you.
I knew it.
I have 4 questions. All right.
Your spell has fizzled at this point.
Boo. We didn't make it very far in 10 minutes.
Well, you talked to that deer for a little while.
Hey, a boat.
You do see a boat across the river here,
Let's swim across.
along with what looks to be an entrance to a cat cave of some kind.
Let's swim across. And jump into the water. And start swimming.
Okay. Well, jump into the water and bring us the boat back, because we're not immune to poison right now.
Okay.
The
Just
dragon
listen to it, but not immune to it.
jumps in the water and begins flowing south.
I'm swimming.
So I need you to do an athletics check as you swim across river.
I got a 5, but I'm going to re-roll with a sorcery point. I got a 5 again, I'm going to re-roll again with a sorcery point.
Apparently, I can walk on water.
I got a 6 for you. Oh, goodbye.
Oh, do it now.
I'm not.
Do it now so we can make fun of Draken.
Dragon is unable to swim in the water.
So I'm going to walk on water over there to him and pull him up,
You could have
Okay.
cast
and
it
then
on
walk
me.
to the boat.
You could have cast it on me.
Up to 10 willing creatures you can see within range gain this ability for the duration.
Oh, I didn't see that. Where? Oh my gosh! So everybody can walk on water.
I can too.
Woohoo!
All right, so everyone can walk on water. Do you even want this boat anymore?
Sure. Let's go next.
This won't last more than an hour, though.
Everybody has attachments to the soles of their feet that are like pillows of air.
You have like little inner tubes
Yeah.
on the bottom of boots.
Water.
You guys all have water walk for the next hour. You can walk on the water. You've got water too. All right, you investigate the boat? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Is there anything?
Yeah.
So Dragon.
And since we're walking across, we might as well check out this cave, too.
Yeah.
All right.
This boat is so small.
I wasn't planning on checking out the cave
So
yet.
you see
Skip
this
the boat.
this boat sitting tied there to the opening of this narrow cave. It's a wooden rowboat. Looks like it can probably hold 4 of you comfortably. I would make it bigger if you were to use it. You do see, again, this cavern stretching out behind.
Is there anything in the boat?
Nothing's in the boat.
Does it look like it's been sitting here for a while, or
Do an investigation check.
Oh yeah.
17?
No, it looks relatively new.
Ooh, let's go into cave. Maybe this is where she gets off her gym.
Which means someone's here. And since there's maybe someone here, let's, Melannor, can you cast Passive Out a Trace? Why, I sure can. So Melannor casts Passive Out a Trace.
Okay.
Roll stealth.
Yeah, sure. Roll stealth.
Really?
Natural
14.
20, which means 32.
Nice.
24.
13 for Melannor. And a 21 for me. Yeah, Melannor rolled 2.
Okay. All right. When Melannor kind of casts a spell, and it, just causes the effect that you know and love as Pass Without a Trace, and proceeds to then kick up a stone that splashes through the river. And he's like, "Oops." Now he currently still is exhausted, so it would be a disadvantage roll. But
Okay, you want to see if he rolls a
You
1?
got to do that. I'm not going to ask you to do that. All right, this tunnel is relatively narrow. Can I get a marching order?
I'll go first because I have a
Me, the
meter.
lead, of course. Okay, Draken wants to go first for once since he has immunity to some things. You're not immune to damage,
You're not immune to death.
Draken is like, I can
Well,
take anything.
Technically, he isn't. He's immune to death as long as it's not like instant death.
Have the dog bring up the rear since he can truck whatever gets thrown at me.
As you get to this opening, you do see the tunnel kind of circles around, and as you kind of spread around here, you can see it kind of circles around on itself. And at this point, Draken gives George the go-ahead to go first.
Okay.
Circle around. Continue through this area. It opens up, and you see on the ground is a skeleton.
Have anything on it?
This narrow passage here.
Wendune in his old cynicism is going to be like, oh, look, another dead body.
Yep.
We seem to find those a lot.
The tunnel extends
Well.
north and south.
Let's check out this dead body.
Okay.
So it's a skeleton, so it's like
Is dead
been there
dead, is
for a
long
while,
dead.
huh?
Yeah, he's-
Or is it dead, or has it just been eaten of flesh?
investigation check. Or
Alright.
medicine check, actually. Medicine check for this question.
Ooh, we never get to do medicine. That's a 4.
You have no idea. It's definitely dead, and it's a skeleton.
Let's check
Does
you
it have
this.
anything on it?
There's nothing on
Immediately
it.
go in to loot the dead body.
Is there dust on it, or is my medicine check just negate me looking at this anymore?
Your medicine check, essentially, the most you can tell is it's not human, it's not elvish, it's not orcish. It
And
seems to be
it's dead.
some sort of humanoid creature, but not one of the typical player races, we'll say. but you can't quite determine what it is. It's been.
I can sell more from that medicine check.
It's dead.
Yeah. He did.
Crack at
Now
it.
you can do an investigation check to reveal more about how long has it been here. Maybe you'll determine what its race is and any other details through an investigation check of, and it won't tell you how he died or it died. It'll tell you more just about the state of it.
Well, it's just like a very obvious.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to do what I should be getting into the habit of doing and casting guidance on myself. And then doing this investigation check.
Okay.
That gives me a 16.
Okay.
The guidance just lets you roll a d4 and add 2. I just happen to roll 4 this time.
So your medicine check.
But when we level it up, I swapped out my cantrips, so I got the guidance put down something to do.
So you're not sure what this creature is, but you can tell from your investigation that it has been picked clean by acid, some sort of acidic damage. And its skull,
All right.
the skull is turned toward the passage you just entered from.
So it's trying to run away.
But otherwise, you can't really tell much else.
So hearing that, I'm going to swap out the gem in my shield
So you spend a moment, switch
for the onyx.
Switch the emerald out for the onyx.
Yes.
So now you have acid resistance.
Yes, I'm changing it.
Otherwise, there's not much else to determine based on the rolls that you've made.
Okay.
Unless there's something else specifically you want to ask about that doesn't require a medicine check or investigation check.
So if he was facing the passage we just came from trying to run away, then logic dictates he was probably coming from the north with the way he's laid out.
Like.
Is he face up or down?
He is face up with his head turned to the west. Based on your investigation check of a 16, you can imagine he had come from, and again, looking around, not just him himself, but also looking around at the dust on the ground and any disturbance that was made.
Marks.
You can see that it seems more likely, based on what you can tell, because you do kind of see grooves in the dust coming from the south, that this character, whoever it was, seems to perhaps have run up from the south and died here from its wounds.
So if we're dealing with acid, then this being a skeleton doesn't mean jack, because acid would just eat away at everything else. But this is the guy that owns the boat.
The path does continue north or south.
But the tracks are going south.
The tracks of where this creature came from appear to tell you he came from the south.
Okay, let's go south. Towards adventure.
Let's go find the danger.
Okay.
Yes.
Oops. Well, how about we do a perception check? We haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone can do that for this, since you're entering this area.
All right, Cat's fine, but I'm going to give guidance to Melannor.
13.
To see that disadvantage. Oh, Melannor.
Whew.
That's a 9. That's 4.
11.
10. So Melannor got a 10. I got a 21.
All right. George and Draken. And what did Wendune get? He got an 11.
Okay.
So Wendune, you're kind of back in the rear still. You haven't quite. You're like, what's going on up there? But George and Draken, you do feel a bit of a breeze, like a wind, like a blowing from the north. Like you can feel like, and this wind is something you felt before. It's of deep tunnel air flowing upward. And you felt this once before whenever you went from level 1 to level 2. You felt this before when you went from level 2 to level 3.
That goes to level 6.
So this might be going to level 6 then.
No way!
It appears to be a tunnel that leads deeper into Undermountain to the north. based on that feeling that you've gotten before.
What about south?
South does not give you that same kind of breeze blow. It opens up.
Well, let's leave a mark there on the wall saying this way to level 6. It goes south.
Okay.
Well, all right.
Unless there's any objections. So y'all want to go down to level 6 now? We're kind of doing things at 4 and other things.
Let's go.
I am not
let's go the other way.
I'm not the ipso facto leader. We're going to go to 6 eventually to get that.
Yeah, are we going? We've already skipped
things.
one level. Do we need to skip another?
No.
Do we want to just go and?
Well, out of character, according to the DM, we've been kind of overpowered anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe by skipping, we'll get to where we're supposed to.
There's a lot of cool stuff on level 4 that I do want to do, but at the same time, it may not be a huge challenge at your current level, but it'd be fun. But I'm not against it.
Yeah. But I want to at least take care of this river thing too.
I say come down to level 6 later.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so heading south.
Then we have
continue
come to
towards
a
our-
consensus.
You find this
Do something shiny.
rough-hewn path is relatively bare and dust-filled. You do see the footsteps of that creature that you found earlier, just now. And this tunnel seems to run, and again, you can hear the river that you just crossed over. This tunnel seems to run adjacent to that river heading south through the mountain. It's a pretty long distance, too. But you don't run across any sort of creatures.
I wonder why I was running. Gave the acid lots of time to eat on it.
Until eventually it opens up to a bridge.
Oh, right back where we started.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
So this bridge does lead across. You do.
And it feels like
recognize-
a dark torch.
You do recognize the area that you met the deer to the north there. And this bridge leads to a structure. So you see here a tower.
See, this stuff here is why I never finished Skyrim.
Dungeon of the Mad Mage, in case, I mean, it's essentially a campaign setting. It's not like just an adventure. And because it's daylight out here, you can pretty much see pretty far. But you do see essentially what looks to be a tower rising up above you.
Ooh, let's go in.
Is there any signs of life or movement or occupancy?
Well, do a perception check.
19.
20, not natural. Dirty 20.
Okay. As you're looking out across this bridge, let's see what Wendune got. Okay, yeah, you all roll really well. You're looking out across this bridge. You can see peeking out behind a green wing kind of floats by and retracts back. And you can hear the sounds of large footfalls and
Let's go the other way.
a snorting sound. And is very much gives you the impression that dragon lives in this tower and around this area. You start to hear certain sounds, and all of you rolled so high on your perception, everyone except for Melannor, I guess, hears a whisper.
I didn't even try to roll in.
As because you open up, you come up, you're on this bridge above the river, and so you do get a bit of a breeze coming off the water, like you would, and you can hear a whisper in your ear that seems to pass with the wind, and you hear very faintly this whispering voice say, "Free me, pull the sword. Its evil cannot be contained much longer."
Cool.
Whoa. What?
You hear this whisper. It says,
Free me, pull the sword.
"Free me, pull the sword.
Become the king of all of England.
Its evil cannot be contained much longer."
So you know, money is the root of all evil.
No, it's the love of money.
The love of money, that is true.
Time is money.
The dragon has a big stone sword, and it's gonna freeze some magical spirit if we get rid of it.
And at this point, that snorting sound you heard before, it does sound a bit rhythmic. And you have the feeling that this dragon is snoring and is actually asleep right now. The wing you saw stick out was like a sleep twitch. And you can see its tail kind of curl around the corner of this tower coming from the west over here.
Let's go! Come on!
Yeah!
Are we I got my back on a character set.
Let's move!
You're rushing forth?
Do we need to re-roll our stealth, or is it from the first one still?
It's from the first one still.
Let's go.
Did I ever roll
Melannor
for,
stamping around.
did I ever roll for Boulder?
I don't think so.
Not yet.
I don't remember you saying it.
Yeah, so you got a 6 plus 10, so 16 with the pass without a trace.
Good.
So better than Melannor.
All right, so you are walking forward on the bridge.
Yep.
Again, you can see the river flowing beneath you. It's just a slimy, algae-covered looking river, kind of like, but very much bright green sludge.
Yeah, it's a reservoir.
You come up to the side of this tower here. And south or north?
Is there a door?
You see no door on this
Go
side.
south.
Okay, you go south. You do see a door in the side of the tower here to the south. The dragon is sleeping. You see its little snout peeking out the side there.
So it's not on top of the tower, he's behind the
He
tower?
is behind the tower, level with you guys.
Taking a nap.
Oh, okay.
He's sleeping.
So, burst in here and see if we can pull the sword.
Well, let's back up and go down, like there. Let's go the other way and see if there's another door that's not right in front of the dragon.
Over here.
The fear of death.
You do see another door on this side of the tower.
And another dragon, there's two.
Not another dragon there.
If there's another dragon, we're leaving. I'm not that crazy.
All right, well, Wendune has never seen a dragon.
You
So
see
he's
me?
going to tiptoe his way over there and take a big look at it. Yeah, you're not a real dragon. You're just like a partial
real
dragon.
I'm half dragon. I can blow lightning breath
All
in my
right.
face.
So you take a look around the corner.
It's
A large green dragon with a sword stuck in its skull all the way down to its hilt. And again, you can hear in the wind, "Free me. Pull the sword. Its evil cannot be contained much longer."
Does Wendune let us know about this sword in this dragon skull?
Yeah, I'm going to go back and tell them about the dragon skull.
Okay.
And be like, I've never seen anything like
Alright.
the house is still living. It's got a sword in its brain.
What? It does?
I want to sneak over
Wait.
to that corner too so I can get a look at the dragon myself. I want to cast Divine Sense. So as it actually, I can detect the good and evil. So I should be able to tell if this thing's, if it's the dragon that's evil or the sword that's evil.
So as you use your divine sense and look at this dragon, you're getting very mixed signals. So it's almost as if the two, if you can imagine two colors mixed together and swirling together, you're getting like a sense of good and evil at the same time,
The sword is good.
swirling together in the aura of this dragon.
I think the sword is good and it's trying to make the dragon good, but the dragon's evil and trying to fight back.
I'm going to sneak back to my group here. And I have the formulations of an insane plan.
Oh.
As you move back,
It wakes up.
the dragon rolled a natural 20 on its perception check.
Oh my god.
Oh, dang.
And it wakes up.
Well, that's going to mess with my plan.
It wakes up and goes, "Who's there?" Ugh.
Really knows we're here. Might as well just,
It turns comes this way, and like,
Hola!
and you can see its long dragon neck peer around the corner, a sword stuck in its skull, looking at the group of you.
Hola!
Oh.
Say,
What's
you seem to have something right here. You need some help with that?
It kind of stands up on its haunches and looks at the four of you.
You just have to have it in your head. It looks like it hurts.
And he goes, I am Toralai. It kind of like coughs a bit and twitches. I am containing this dragon's
Greetings,
evil.
Turtle.
You're containing the dragon's
so
evil.
You are the sword?
I am a sword
Oh.
that was struck into the dragon many decades ago by my previous owner, and I've taken control.
But the dragon's starting to kind of fight
So
back.
if we pull the sword, we pull you out, then the dragon becomes evil again, and it's not going to be fun for us.
Yes, Valdemar is quite horrible. I befriended the mistress of this wood, and I serve as a protector to her forest in exchange for being left alone peacefully here. However, I do wish to return to my master, or to find purpose with a new master.
But then we would have to kill
Okay.
the dragon, and she said not
Yeah, how would we,
hurt anything. Would she be fine if we hurt the dragon? Yet she said, do not hurt anything or I'll kill you.
Unfortunately, no. Willow tends to be very adamant in her desires to not have any living thing be harmed here in her woods.
I think I have an idea. We take the sword out, kill the dragon, and run away.
That's a bad idea.
I think that's suicidal, yeah.
The dragon
That's not a good idea.
The dragon kind of lowers down its head and goes, I do wish to be free. And he kind of like turns his head with the sword towards you, the hilt. But at the same time, I don't wish to put you in danger, little ones.
You could always go back and talk to the queen and be like, hey, can you contain this dragon while we pull the sword out of its skull?
I don't think she would be willing to reason with you on this matter.
Could we possibly pull the sword out, and then somehow restrain the dragon first, and then pull the sword out, and then get out of here? We would be killing the dragon.
Big
Yeah, because my only other thing is to, heat the metal of the sword with heat metal and cook its brain. Other than that, I don't have anything.
I have a question. Would this work if we kill the dragon while you're still in it, then pull you out?
The dragon kind of looks at the four of you and goes, we've only just met, and I don't wish to put you in any harm. This dragon, and again, it kind of has a twitch in its neck and you see the throbbing to the heartbeat as the hilt kind of throbs in its skull. This dragon is quite awful and evil. I don't wish for any of you to die.
Well, I just asked the question, would it work? If we killed the dragon now before we take you out, and then we take you out after it's dead.
I would, and again, you can see the smoke kind of furl from the dragon's nostrils. I feel like my draconic instincts would kick in. I wouldn't be able to contain myself if you were to attack me.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I won't.
Real quick, you're a green dragon, so is that poison?
Yes.
Okay, I'm swapping my shield back.
Now, I do want to warn you guys, this is a hefty dragon here. This is an adult green dragon.
Would you?
I feel like we may need to go talk to Willow.
Tarlai kind of stretches her wings a bit and says, listen, once again, I do wish to be free, but not at the cost of your lives. Maybe think on it and come up with a plan that perhaps would be safe for all involved.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go talk to Willow and see, because if this was the dragon's name,
Tarlai.
Feldmar?
Tarlai,
No, the dragon.
Tarlai is the sword's name. Valdemar is the dragon's name.
Valdemar. So Valdemar is this bad thing, and you seem to be losing control or wanting to leave, then maybe getting rid of this evil dragon would be a bad thing. So let's go talk to Willow.
The dragon, again, kind of looks at you kind of wistfully and says, Willow is quite attached to her dragon pet. Other adventurers who have attempted to slay Valdemar, including my master, who drove me deep into this dragon's skull where I currently sit, they were
killed by her.
Killed by Willow in retaliation.
Yeah, but they probably didn't talk to Willow first.
I don't know about that. So you guys are going to go talk to Willow.
Apparently,
how high is this wall? How high are we up from the ground?
You're a good, like, floor up. It's like a second story walkway. You can see to the south of the walled structure of a large building.
A large building? Ooh. Do you know what that is? I asked the dragon sword thing.
He's away from us. We're going to talk to somebody else.
You guys walked away. The dragon is, I will say, does kind of watch you walk away.
Do you know what that is?
The dragon just kind of shakes its head no. You guys can walk through the forest. You see lots of wildlife and trees and animals.
And litter.
Littered with old weapons and shields and crossbows and arrows and things. You do see, as you continue this direction, this kind of cave to the south. And this kind of mountain wall.
Shiny.
And a lot of kind of little tiny caves here lining this wall as you approach Willow's tower. The tower, the doors are closed. You knock on the doors. Halistry will open the door to greet you.
Greetings, house tree.
Halistry again is this awakened tree with the face of Halister, black cloak, kind of carved into its trunk.
I'm not going in.
And where its own mouth is, that's where the mouth of Halister is. It kind of looks like the old man's carving is talking. And anyway, as he opens the door and kind of looks at the four of you, he goes, "Oh, the guild is back, I see."
I'm on the sidetrack by Tarlai of Baltimore.
Tarlai?
Tarlai's the sword.
Yes, the sword.
Yes, in Baltimore. We had some questions about them. We wanted to ask your mistress about.
My mistress is unavailable, but I can pass any questions along or perhaps answer them myself if I can.
Well, it's come to our attention that Tarlai wants to leave Baltimore and seems to be losing control of Baltimore.
And Voldemort is a big, giant, scary,
and Baltimore is a big
dragon
evil
that
thing.
will try to destroy the world.
So we wanted to see if she was okay if we tried to help that situation or not.
Kill it.
Well,
No.
I can tell you this, just based on previous adventuring parties over the last several years who have wandered down this way, many of which have offered such service. The mistress cannot abide the death of any creature in her domain, evil or not.
Interesting. Okay.
Just
So there is
knowing-
no, even though
Just knowing from previous experience, other attempts at killing the dragon have met with the mistress's wrath. Swiftly.
So,
okay.
what if it isn't a living creature?
I don't understand
gets
what
injured.
you mean.
He has a sword in its
I
hand.
don't understand what you mean either.
What if this construct here, and points to Boulder, pulls out the sword and gets killed by the dragon?
They should get rid of the boulder.
My mistress has no need for such constructs.
Dang. No loophole.
Well, I'm wondering what if we could talk to Carlisle and see if he can follow what's outside of the mistress's domain, and then we can take care of it.
That would be a idea.
He kind of looks at the four of you, kind of looks back into the house, and then he kind of closes the door behind him and comes out all the way, and kind of talks in a much lower tone. He goes, "Any such plans you might wish to make amongst yourselves, not perhaps within any ear of any creature that the mistress might be able to listen through, such as any animals in the forests and other such creatures. She can see through their eyes at any time, and can be quite difficult to hide these such plans from her, but he kind of looks back again and goes, I shouldn't say this myself, but perhaps if what you say is true and Tarlai wishes to leave, it should be done without the mistress's knowledge and far away from here. Yes."
So let's go back to Skullport and let the Flaming Skulls help.
Question, Alistry. So your mistress can see and hear through these animals. If they don't understand the language, would she still understand it?
Oh, most of the animals in this forest can speak common. They're awakened creatures.
Draconic?
But what about Draconic?
She knows common, druidic, elvish, and draconic.
No!
I wonder what languages the sword knows.
I didn't hear Dwarvish in there. It's like
Well,
going to
thank you
Japan
for your
and going
time,
to say hi.
Alistry. We need to get away before we get anything attention-wise.
Yes, I also must go and attend to things. He kind of goes back in and closes the door.
Okay,
Run.
You gotta go, Butler.
let's go back to the dragon, Valdemar, Tarlisle, whatever.
Tarlai. So it's like Lorelei, but
Tarlai. Tarlisle.
Okay. Again, you can see many creatures, woodland creatures, as you pass through the forest. And now that you know a bit more about how Willow kind of works, you do see many of them watch you as you move about.
Shimmer.
Okay.
Again, I want to make sure you do understand that there are these cave entrances, and just in case you want to go that way. And then there's also this building down here.
We're dealing with the
Dance,
dragon
dance, nudge,
business.
nudge.
You seem to have a problem with that.
No, I'm just making sure you understand everything you see around here.
Are there any animals down here?
Animals?
Yeah.
Many animals. Deer,
Everywhere.
bear, birds, chipmunks,
Yeah.
squirrels.
Overpopulated even.
So we need to be very careful.
The dragon is peering over the ledge at you as you approach.
That's not unsettling at all.
Ooh!
I want to ask the dragon in Orcish, if he speaks Orcish.
The dragon head kind of tilts at you like a dog, not understanding a command. He goes, "I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean."
Ask Melannor to try in any languages he knows that Willow would whispering,
Let's see, Melannor
such as
knows
Dwarvish or Sylvan.
Dwarvish, Sylvan. He tries a series of all the languages that he knows, and other than Elvish, which it does understand, it does not understand Sylvan, and it does not understand Dwarvish. It does seem to understand Common, Draconic, Druidic, and Elvish.
I go through every
Sure
single
what
language
she
in the
does.
book. I asked the dragon, are we all able to fit in there? That I haven't explored in there. Do we mind if we go with you in there?
Tarlai looks at you and goes, "I need to warn you. While I do have some semblance of control over Valdemar, there are certain draconic instincts I have a hard time fighting against.
Okay, then I won't mention it.
Within this tower is Valdemar's dragon horde that I will fight to protect.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Go in there then.
Ask Toralai, can you read?
She says, I can read to an extent, depends on the message, or what the writing is.
What language is
Can
it?
you read common?
Some words.
Draconic?
Okay. So let's try. It's like writing down what we're thinking in a way that like no birds or anything can read it.
Okay. What are you writing on?
Some dirt or something like with a stick, like nothing fancy.
Okay. So you're trying to. So what idea are you trying to convey to the dragon?
Trying to convey about if he could come with us outside of Willow's domain.
And then handle it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or vice versa, having Boulder try to pull him out and letting him be destroyed basically while we're off somewhere safe. Which I feel like is a loophole that Willow would still be mad about.
Yeah, Tarlai, when you say that, she goes, I don't want to be added to some dragon's horde. If I am somehow removed and the dragon is free, that's the first thing that's going to happen is I will be discarded into its horde and left to rot. As you look at the sword hilt, it's quite beautiful and is considered quite shiny when it comes to a treasure item that a dragon might want.
So we have to
What if we take you to like a cave opening? Melannor can cast his stone wall thing to make a wall of stone, but we leave a gap where you could insert yourself through and we just pull you from the other side of this wall. Dragon will still be alive. You'll be the dragon will still be alive. You'll be out of the dragon, but away from the dragon's reach, and we can go somewhere else.
So essentially corralling the dragon, like placing its head into a block of stone, essentially? Is that what you're saying?
And not placing his head in a block of stone, but having where the hilt goes through a hole in the stone, and we're on the other side of that stone.
Oh, so it's like
we pull it
just
and
the
run.
hilt of the sword sticking through the hole?
Exactly.
So would you be able to get the guard, the blade, the hand guard through that hole?
I mean, we can make it big enough for that, but not big enough for a dragon. And we can even do this for like after Miller casts whatever, everybody else goes, and it's just me and the dragon or whatever. Because I have like resistances and stuff.
Okay, resistance and immunity are two different things.
I have
They are.
immunity to poison.
They are.
Okay.
But
But you have the strength to pull the sword.
Tarlai, in essence, kind of scratches with a claw on the ground. First option. She seems to prefer the first option of going away from here and somehow taking care of this outside of Willow's reach.
Okay.
Stone block.
So let's do that then. Would you rather travel with us or meet us somewhere?
She kind of looks around, and I need everyone to do a perception check.
Where do we meet?
That is the second time Melannor rolled a natural 20 on an ability check, and then rolled poorly on the second one. Alright, I'll cast guidance on myself though, because I forgot to do it with him.
I got a 15.
Good thing too.
So
15.
you
And Melannor got a 11.
George, as you say this, you see a bird flitter away.
Oops.
And Tarlai goes, I fear we may have been too brazen in our planning.
I fear we leave now.
Well, I feel like we were covering up what we were riding. Like we were just like letting it out there, like the drag wing over or something. Come on, man.
Like, being like.
You said to her, Shall we meet you somewhere? Out loud.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
That's in the writing.
Meet somewhere. That's it. All right. Well, we'll come. We'll come. So
leaving.
now that that's happened, we can talk openly. Shall we meet you somewhere?
Yes, now.
Or you want to travel with us? We're going to head north to check out this algae stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe,
She comments like, "Oh yes,
which should be coming from the fourth floor. So maybe fourth floor.
very well. I'll meet you."
So maybe fourth floor over by there.
She says she'll meet you at the mouth of the river, on the other side of the domain of Willow.
Okay.
She takes off into the sky.
Okay. Takes off into the sky. We wait for her to go, and then we open up this tower and get this horde out.
Are you gonna open the door? Is that what you said?
No. That's gonna bring that dragon back so fast.
Okay, let's go to that boat.
And across the bridge. And just make sure I'm not dictating what you guys are doing.
Yep.
Headed back across the bridge, up through the caves, into the boat.
George, you get in the boat? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, I'm in the boat.
All right. Once you step into the boat, it untethers itself and drifts away.
I jump in.
You're about 15 feet away now from the. I don't have it separated as a separate object here, but it all of a sudden
Well, you said there's
sprouts all these tentacles and wraps you in them.
Well, it's a mimic.
And I need you all to roll initiative.
Oh, come on, Nick. Told you. I was right.
I didn't know a mimic boat existed. Neat.
17.
All right. Melannor got 17. I got a 4.
Rolled a 14.
All right, George, you got a
Roll low on
4.
initiative.
So you have been ambushed. This is a surprise round.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. I was not expecting a mimic there.
All right, you are currently grappled by the mimic. Your speed is 0.
Okay. Yeah.
So the first to act is going to be the mimic. So the mimic has George in its grasp, and then it's going to, again, with all the attacks it made against you, it's going to do a bludgeoning attack on you, George. So it has advantage. 22 to hit.
That is.
It's going to do 12 points of bludgeoning damage. Another attack against you. 26 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Another 12 points of damage. Acid.
Come on, what else?
Acid damage.
I picked the wrong gem. All right.
And that's going to be 26 acid damage. Now it's Draken's turn.
Are you able to resist the fireball so that it will burn it? And if you can,
I'll take half damage from it. I won't be able to dodge or anything, so I would still take half.
Oh yeah, he's also moving up here.
I'm gonna shoot him. Level 5 fireball.
Draken,
Okay.
you're coming up here. There's no boat there anymore.
Shooting a level 5 fireball at the boat.
Level 5.
Just so you know, I'm already down past half health.
You're gonna kill George?
Level 4 fireball. You will take 36 fire damage, and the mimic is now on fire.
I take 18 fire
It's
damage.
not made of wood.
The mimic is a big
Okay.
tongue.
It's in the water.
I am bloodied. FYI.
Okay, how far away are you?
Okay, I'm gonna shoot fireball on the way so that it's not touching the part that's in the water. 13.
That just hits.
Nice. 10 damage.
10 damage. Alright, now it's Melanor's turn. As Draken.
Melannor.
Wait, my buddy got captured by this thing. Let me cast fireball. And throws this giant fireball. And then another firebolt just on top of that for good measure. Alright, Melannor, you just saw your buddy get
Alright.
taken away downriver and smashed by Draken with a fireball.
I'm just showing how it can definitely be George.
He's 30 feet away. I cast Blight
Blight. Nice. It's gonna
at
die.
5th level, so that's a Constitution save.
23.
That passes, so he's going to take half damage. So that's going to be 22 points of damage.
Not messing around, you cast that blight against the greater mimic. This green, icky energy flows through the air and striking against the boat form that's now sprouting all these tendrils and teeth.
Then for bonus action, Sacred Flame, which is a dex save.
Ooh, a 3. Roll a 3.
All right.
Is this because it asked for?
So he is going to take
It's always been
15 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Anything else Melannor wants to do in his turn? He can move. He can kind of wade around the water here if he wants.
Yeah, he'll kind of wade up. Are these rocks under the water I'm seeing?
Yeah, let me, yeah, so it's kind of rocky, and you can't really move past 5 feet from the side of the mountain here without going deep. You can skirt along.
Okay, so yeah, he'll go that way.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it was me that jumped in. Anyone else would probably be dead by now.
Wendune's turn.
So he said that George is bloodied.
That's what he said.
I'm down to like a quarter of my health.
All right, I want to run up.
Taking quite a few big hits all of a sudden.
To this corner. Oops, I double clicked. One more diagonal upper left of me. Yeah, right there. And I'm going to use my action and bonus action at the same time. Bonus action for my homunculus to deliver Cure Wounds at 3rd level to George.
Okay.
A Cure Wounds is a touch spell, right? So your homunculus can do it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's why he's using his bonus action to get him over there.
Oh, okay.
For 20 points.
Woohoo.
So yeah, the little
Thank you very much.
little homunculus, little flying dragon machine thing flutters out there and kind of clear.
Yeah.
Whew, that was refreshing.
George,
More.
unless Wendune has anything else he wants to do.
I can't. I'm done.
Okay, George, I need you to do a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution.
Poison.
This river is poisonous.
18.
All right, you resist the poison sludge floating all around you and getting into your mouth and eyes and stuff as you're being grappled with this crazy creature.
If that's all happened, I'm kind of glad I got the poison resistance down too. Okay. I am going to rage.
All right, bonus action rage.
Roar, bonus action rage. Then I'm going to swing
Okay.
my masher at this thing. A 27 hit.
Yep, that hits.
All right. I'm going to give this thing back the taste of its own medicine. And I'm going to do a divine smite at 3rd level.
Okay.
Nice.
Smack.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to be 9 points of bludgeoning plus at 3rd level. That's going to be, what is that? All right, so he takes that initial blow and then another 24 points of radiant damage.
All right, so you guys on the shore watch as you see this hammer rise up and then this glowing brightness. And you hear this little squealing noise from the shore as you're looking out and watching
Sounds like
this
a
happen.
robot.
Second attack, 27 again.
That hits.
I'm going to divine smite at 3rd level again. I think I have 2 of those now. I do. All right, so that is going to be 14 points of bludgeoning damage, 13 points of radiant damage.
All right, as you crack your hammer into this thing, you feel the grip let go and release you, and this thing just explodes with all of these
Teeth.
tiny little squirming creatures all erupting from within. And what used to be one bulbous giant boat, kind of pseudo boat structure with tentacles, now you see all these little tiny jellyfish-sized tentacles with teeth all erupting out, and now you're swarming with baby mimics all around you. in the water.
You burst his
As
head?
you burst open this pregnant mimic's body, and all these babies swarm out.
Awesome. So are they like attached to me? Can I like swim back to shore now?
You are
Or would I
released.
make an attack?
You are released.
Huh?
You are released from.
Yeah, but like if I swim back to shore, will that provoke an attack of opportunity from all this swarm of baby mimics, or are they like attached to me? So would they come with me?
And you can definitely feel them like jellyfish as you kind of swim. You're pumping your arms to keep yourself afloat. And yeah, pretty much as you start pumping your arms through the move, they do start to adhere to you as you touch them.
All right, so I want to start moving back then.
So as George is like swimming over to you guys, you see that where they were, just this inky blackness is like filling the water in that area as this ooze is just everywhere. And all these, you see the water starts getting choppy as all these little baby mimics are everywhere, and they start eating at the mother. And those that didn't come with George, and others are adhered onto George. It look like little pseudopod, like almost like octopus or jellyfish or whatever. And as they are adhered to George and they are touching different parts of his body, they seem to take the shape or the color or the fabric and so on of his armor and clothing and so on, almost like little chameleons all over his body, like taking instinctively the shape and the texture and so on of his clothing and armor and weapons and so on.
How much health do you have?
About half.
As George gets to the edge of this water here and gets within reach of you guys, he starts to feel little pinpricks of bites, and the swarm of baby mimics attacks.
Sure, you don't want me.
Hold that thought, Draken. I may not be able to handle it.
Okay.
We'll see.
14 to hit.
Yes.
So you can feel the little pokes, but nothing that breaks the skin or anything.
You want me to get rid of him?
Another attempt to bite with these baby mimics. Natural 1. And
Yeah.
now it's Draken's turn.
Actually, no, they're not really bothering me. Why don't you fireball that swarm of them eating the mama,
Yeah,
so that all these little baby ones aren't going out?
there is a swarm of them still in the water.
Okay. Fireball.
Fireball?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
25 damage.
The dex save is a 5. So 25 damage. So you can see the fireball goes overhead, and George is happy it's not going toward him again. And it strikes the water where this swarm of creatures are, and you can see there's this explosion of blood and ooze and slime from the river just like just kind of cascade over you guys. And you did definitely see the kick up from the swarm lessen, but there's still definitely some swimming around.
Okay.
Melanor's turn.
Oh, we're still in combat?
No.
Wait,
Swarms of baby mimics.
oh.
Yep.
All right, Melannor is going to cast Ice Knife at the ones eating the mama. At second.
Maybe if we let them finish eating her, they'll go away and they'll be satisfied.
I know.
14 hit.
14 to hit.
Yep.
All right. 8 damage. And then it needs to make a dex save.
Well, with that initial damage, they all just kind of freeze in place, and that chopping of the water subsides, and all this stuff just begins to flow downstream.
They all dead.
They all did.
Yeah, I'll do. Alright, in that case, bonus action will cast Frostbite on the ones on George. So that's a Constitution save.
Okay. Got a 13.
That meets it, so it beats it.
Okay, so half or just nothing.
Nothing.
All right. All right, Wendune, you're standing there as George is like right there in front of you, just swarming with all these strange chameleon-like octopus / jellyfish creatures with teeth and tendrils and eyes.
I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on George.
Okay.
I don't really need it if you want to save the spell slot.
It'll keep them off of you.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think they can do much to me right now.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
If you wanted to save the slot,
Then we can just
you
walk
could
away.
probably do an unarmed attack and just like smack them,
but I
brush them
can't,
off.
I can't do damage
You can wait for
with my unarmed attack.
You can attempt to just pull them off of them and like brush them off if you want.
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay, let's do. Let's call this a medicine check.
Medicine check.
Yeah.
It's a straight roll. Nat 20.
Nice. All right, so
Yay!
you manage to get in there and just kind of scrape off a bunch of these things off of George and kind of just toss them back into the water without them actually sticking to you. And so you manage to get one of the swarms essentially completely off of George and
There's
now
more than
into
one.
the water.
It's more than one
How
swarm.
many swarms were on me?
There were 2 swarms on you.
Oh,
So one swarm is now in the water. The water starts kind of getting choppy, and they start taking on the shape of like,
Seaweed.
seaweed. Or actually, they start to kind of merge with the slime itself, and kind of take on that consistency and such. So they're kind of flowing downriver with the algae and slime that's
Yeah.
covering the water. So one of the swarms is kind of flowing downstream. The other one is still adhered to George.
Okay. I'm going to get Boulder.
What do mimics like?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get Boulder to try to do the same thing with Force Empowered Rend. Just kind of force them off of him.
All right.
It's a plus 4 to hit.
Yeah, D20 plus 4.
It's 17. And the damage would be 1d8 plus 2. 10.
10 damage. Right, Boulder gets in there and starts kind of scraping with his claws and like pulling some off. And you see some of these mimics kind of take on a metallic, chromatic look to them as they get torn to ribbons and scraped off of George. All right, the other swarm is, well, actually, this swarm's going to first attempt to do more bites against George because they're hungry. Mama just died. Gotta.
Wait, I haven't had. It'll take my turn yet.
Yours is next. 21 to hit George.
I thought they went after me. That hits. I thought they didn't try to bite me until after I got up here.
6 piercing damage halved to 3.
Mm-hmm.
6 acid damage.
Which I take all of.
All right, then the second swarm is flowing downriver, so they're kind of out of the combat at this point. And now it's George's your turn.
Can I attack this swarm on me, or is there like?
Yeah,
Would that not make sense?
I mean, you can kind of imagine like taking your hammer, like scraping at them with it or something.
Okay. But I will attack. 16.
Yep, that's effective.
That's going to be 11 points of damage.
All right, so you managed to get half of the swarm that remains.
13.
That hits.
9 points of damage.
All right, that kind of does it. At this point, there's like 2 little babies hanging on stills, and they seem to be giving up and letting go, and flowing downstream unless you want to do something about it.
Yeah, I want to toll the dead. Wisdom save.
9.
All right, so they're going to take 2d12.
I think that's going to do it.
That's so mean.
All right, so the 2 swarms that were on George.
All right, 16.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, they're dead. One of them gets decimated. The other one gets taken off by Wendune and flows downriver. You do see there are other swarms in the river that are flowing downriver as well. So there's a lot of like hundreds of babies erupted from this mimic that you guys ran across.
Well, that was fun.
With that, as you all kind of nurse your wounds and your pride from this encounter, we might call it a night there.